Good morning, my fellow yoga travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, live the life we love. It's Friday, so it's PowerPoint Day. This is called Aging into Saging. I love this movie, School of Rock. I hope that you see it, and if you've never seen it, do it. God of Rock, give us the power, we, your humble servants, to blow people's mind with your high voltage electric rock. I used to do that in rock and roll bands. Now I'm trying to do that with the yogic Shakti transmission. All right, so first thing, look at your own family. Share your perception of your family's aging process. How did grandma do it? How did grandpa do it? How did your parents do it? Did they take care of themselves or not? Did they show an example of people who were concerned about their health as they aged? How did they change? How did they deal with it? All right, then, the sage is the mindset. I'm always trying to save what I call the inner spiritual elder in me from the dumpster, the spiritual dumpster, right? Nature programs for success. The second half of life is not a mere appendage. Jung called it individuation, the ability to continue to grow into who you really are. Now you got to find your weird. The weird was the three witches from Macbeth, but it's a Welsh name. That means your specific connection to spirit. It doesn't matter what other people think, what it looks like, what it sounds like. It's your way. That's important because that's going to help you when you face the impossible task. You got to have a foot in one world and a foot in eternity. And your weird helps you understand what that is. Now, you can't do this if you exclude strangeness and otherness. If you want to build community, just let cousin it come into your life. Now, as you get older, have you learned to pick a mode of healing? If you don't know what your gift is, then you probably don't know how you could use that to heal. One of the things elders do. Now, as you get older, you tell them the truth, disarming candor. I appreciate your candor, Tim, but you can't keep calling in lazy. So you tell it like it is. You don't do it to hurt people, but you're clear about not holding back. Doesn't mean you don't have any filters, but much less you did when you were younger and you were trying to impress people or please them or kiss their ass. So it takes work. It takes courage to do this work, to be a first responder, to show up when disaster and catastrophe or suffering happens in other people's lives or in your own life, but mostly really for showing up for other people. Then you have to be the author of your own life, like Hemingway. The author is somebody who makes something so. The entic part of it is your being. So to be authentic is to make something so from the reality of who you really are. So we can all become what we love. And even looking at your own demise as an agent of your own completion, no resurrection without crucifixion. So something you has to let go. But I say you got to let go into life. You escape into life, not away from life, because there's no good test for the afterlife. There's belief, there's faith, and I'm not putting it down, but in terms of evidence, not very good. This life, don't subordinate the gift of life to some other supposed life. The miracle is this life. If you don't believe in miracles, perhaps you've forgotten that you are one. Or remind yourself, if you have children, what a miracle that is. So by faith, you have the power to create the thing you have faith in. Like the life of Pi, tell a better story. The way you spin it, the way your narrative is, conditions your life. I call it the reality tunnel. Look at how it makes you look at things in life. But you don't do that in order to flee, but to transform, to protect, and to sanctify life in the here and now for everybody. At this point, you got to think global, right? Not just act local, but think global. Faith is believing what you know ain't so, saying Mark Twain. He was such a cynic, right? But the gods withdraw from an inhospitable and irreverent world. Still put that out there. You can't evoke a response if you don't invoke their presence. Like I said, the house is wired for electricity, but unless you call the company and say, turn it on, you don't get any. We all have the potential in embryonic form to experience ourselves as spiritual beings in the material world. But if you don't make that asking, your free will is not going to be messed with, and you'll seem like you're isolated and alone instead of supported and connected. So literalism banishes beauty to the back burner. Think not just historically, literally, empirically. Think metaphorically, psychologically, archetypally, poetically, mystically. Then you'll get the teaching on another level. A prophet is not without honor except in his own country. If you know anybody, the story of this musician, Rodriguez, who went nowhere with his music, ended up like just being a handyman in some city in the United States, but then somehow in South Africa, his music caught on like Dylan in the United States, and he became like a musical prophet for the apartheid movement. It wasn't until somebody found him and brought him back out to do a concert after years, maybe decades of not being in front of people. You often don't get the credit from the people who you know. That's why you have to take the message outside. A prophet is not without honor except in his home country. Now, my teacher taught me that mentors don't just pass on dogma and certitude, but the passion for the thing that you both love. He's inspired me to want to work this till the day I die. No matter what I can do, there's always something I can do. And he showed you the way to keep it fresh. Now, we all have to do what's called reframing our life to find redemption from the past. You have to behavior modify yourself, change what you do to break through your addiction. Do the original pain work. Don't be afraid to go into the things that hurts you and see the narrative you used to tell yourself and how that doesn't serve you anymore. And cognitively correct it. Learn to find another way of expressing it. Tell a better story. And then get it in her life. Don't forget to sit in silence and reflect on what comes up when you're not trying to churn out a result, but just watching what happens. Remember, that which would give off light must endure burning, and those who fly closer to the light cast the biggest shadow. Are you ready for it? Do it. And then the teaching is a rainbow, right? Start off in yoga, it's just physical. Then you move to the next level where it's psychological. Then you move to the next level where it's service based. Then you move to the next level where it's mystically based, and so forth. And you keep on going deeper and deeper levels of progressive refinement. And then as you get older, the wisdom of the elders has to manifest in teaching people how to live in harmony and balance with each other and with the earth. Because the older you get, you're not going to be earning economically like you did. The older you get, you may get sick and you need therapeutics. But elder's wisdom is not about lining up to get medicine from other people. Elder wisdom is about to give medicine to the people. You're not a retailer of other people's thoughts anymore. You're talking about your own life experience. So ascend, use the fire to get to the one so you can experience the wisdom of the transcendent, and then come back down to the planes of form where your compassion for the suffering begins with you, on yourself, within yourself, and then to other people. And then eventually you got to learn to communicate. Oh, that's why we lift on three, all right? One and a two. But more important than communication is communion, when you connect with people, eye to eye, heart to heart, soul to soul. Have a beautiful day, everybody. We'll check in with you next week.